How's it going, everybody? It's the John Low Fox. Here's my channel where I talk about anime, video games, cartoons, most notably Sonic and Ninja Turtles. And today I'm going to be reacting to or sharing with you my thoughts of these recent trailers that just came out for the Mutant Mayhem Tmnt series and all that. Excuse me. But yeah, so I'm here to talk about it. I'm going to just share a few of my thoughts. Obviously, I'm not the most enthusiastic about it, especially if you know my track history with not really liking this version of the Turtles. Honestly, this is probably my least favorite version of the Turtles, and the least interesting in my opinion. But anyways, I'm still going to be talking about it since, it's TMNT stuff, and I haven't talked about TMNT in a hot minute. So yeah, let's get right into it.
It's the holidays.
Hey, does anyone know what they're getting Splinter?
I made him this mug.
Oh my God!
Maybe don't give him that.
Hey,
Here,
rude.
I'll just ask ChatGPT. What does a
Maybe don't give him that.
Hey,
Here,
rude.
I'll just
By the way, if anyone hasn't noticed, because I didn't notice this after the second rewatch that I did on this is actually that female Casey thing or whatever that they had conceptually for what you call it, for Mutant Mayhem. But I guess they had this as a background character. So look,
ask ChatGPT.
this is the back of that character.
What does a rat dad want? Huh. Laser hair removal.
Yeah, good one, ChatGPT.
All right, don't blame AI. It's only as good as its prompts.
Wait, guys, what is that?
Uh-oh, Chrome Dome is attacking the city on Tubular!
I love destruction!
Watch out, baddies! Here comes the radical reptile!
Is that supposed to be us?
And more.
Does my head look like a raisin to you guys?
Why do I have so many fingers?
Speak for yourself. I look awesome.
What? They stole my move!
We're all about bashing baddies and eating cheeseburgers! The Bongo!
Authentic Invitations Toy Company, Newark, New Jersey.
This can't be a coincidence, right?
If someone is making money off this, it should be us.
I can't believe I'm about to say this.
And I will say this though, I do think that Donatello's voice actor is majorly improved a lot. I know I've kind of gone on my tangents as to like him being the worst. Like, good God, like I was like, man, has this kid ever hit puberty yet? Because in the Mutant Mayhem movie, and then halfway through the Tales of the TMNT series, like his voice got deeper, thankfully. So I think this is definitely a major improvement, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about it in the next clip I pull up, because I think it's definitely an upgrade compared to before. Still not a fan of casting younger actors to play the Ninja Turtles. Still think it's dumb. Still think it's dumb to again age them down to be I guess these teenagers. And yes, I get it, they're called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but yeah. But you know my whole statement, like my stance on it, about how I feel like, all right, can we please make them young adults or something, or age them up a little bit to at least make some of this stuff feel like it mattered, like all the character development and stuff like that they've been through, feel like it was worth something than just, oh, well, it doesn't matter, it's pointless. We're just going to continue to progress their characters and then do something different. But anyways.
But we're going to Jersey.
But anyways, so it seems like this is going to be a short for the next SpongeBob movie that's coming out in theaters. Obviously, I have no interest in watching a SpongeBob movie in theaters. I don't. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I grew up, watching SpongeBob, of course, but over time, you kind of just outgrow it, And I mean, the only times I probably do come back to it is probably older episodes, or like, I don't know. Because everybody be making stuff into SpongeBob memes and stuff like that, so you can't help but like see clips and stuff and be like, yeah, I remember that episode. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But I'm not watching this new SpongeBob movie or anything, and then especially not for this for this short of TMNT that's supposed to be like a parody of Home Alone, which this is kind of a little bit embarrassing, but I've actually never seen any of the Home Alone series. Just going to put that out there. I should probably get on that, to be honest, of watching Home Alone. But yeah, I've never seen any of the Home Alone movies. I know, crazy, right? But it is what it is. But anyways, and then on top of that, Chrome Dome is going to be like a central character or something like that in this, or a central focus in this short. And in case you guys don't remember Chrome Dome, he's a villain from the '87 series. He's like this robot that Shredder and Krang had developed or something like that. And then after that, Chrome Dome kind of made his way into the, of course, the toys and the video games and all that stuff, where he was a pretty decent boss. And then later on, you know, they kept bringing him back in some stuff like the 2012 series, where it's basically a new version or a new type of like Footbot, basically. But in my opinion, I think it's kind of like an amalgamation. And like if you look at the Chrome Dome design from like the 2012 series, I feel like it's an amalgamation of the Chrome Dome from the '87 series and the Elite Foot Ninjas from the Mirage comics in the 2003 series. You know, but that's just my opinion, though. But anyways, let's get into this other one, this other video. All right, so it seems like season 2 of the Tales of the Tmnt is coming out, and it's coming out in December, so that's kind of ironic. And then speaking of which, I heard that they're releasing a comic book line. It might be a mini comic or mini series or whatever. I guess I'm not sure, but they're releasing a tie-in comic or something for the Tales of the TMNT thing. So that's coming out actually this month in October. Am I going to get it? No. I'll probably skim through it, or maybe if I really want to torture myself, I'll probably read it online, I guess, but I have no real interest in getting it per se or supporting this. I'm just like, again, like I said in my own other video about Tales of the TMNT or the Mutant Mayhem stuff, I just don't see what's the point of continuing like this version of the Turtles and stuff, because they're not interesting. They don't really do anything, and they just feel too much of a parody version of the Turtles, which the Turtles were supposed to be sort of a parody, but not a funny parody of like Daredevil and a lot of the Frank Miller stuff, or, you know, the Jack Kirby stuff, like, you know, stuff like that, like of the comics and stuff back then. And then it became its own thing. It developed its own identity and became the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So if you're not going to really give me that kind of action and that kind of like, you know, that brotherhood between that they share and stuff between Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello and stuff, you know, or yeah, it's just like, I don't know. But I mean, hey, at least I have the comics to fall back on currently, and maybe other stuff and some of the crossovers. So it's something. But anyways, let's get back to this trailer. I will say this logo is actually pretty cool, though. I'm not going to lie. I cannot be always hating, though. It's a pretty cool logo.
Why is everyone looking at us?
We're famous, man. Embrace it.
Let's do this.
This is the best day of my life.
Again, still not a fan of how they're out in public and stuff like that. And they're just somehow just like, yeah, they're fitting into society. I'm just, it just doesn't feel, like I said, it just doesn't feel earned. Sorry, I'm just drinking hot chocolate. All right, let me get back to this. So we got Rocksteady. I wonder if he's going to be voiced by John Cena too, so he can ruin this franchise again. Who knows?
I'll get him to talk.
I'm messing around. Anyways, Toka. Yep, they got Toka in here, so that's pretty interesting, I guess. Toka Razar.
This might tingle a bit.
Guys, this way. No, never mind.
This December.
You and Mikey back me up.
Wait,
Again, it took them all the way to December to release a season 2, when the first season came out, what, if I'm not mistaken, like last year, around like September or something. Like, come on. And then the like movie itself came out 2 years ago. Like, really?
where'd Mikey go?
Wow. Turtles love snacks.
They're brothers.
We're gonna have to fight.
He doesn't want to fight.
What was that, Leo? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
They're
Yeah, that is a typical Raph line. I will say that. Or, you know, typical banter. He's like, oh, what was that, Leo? I didn't exactly get that. He doesn't want to hurt anyone. Oh, okay, I got you.
Heroes. Mutant monsters. We have to stop them. People are gonna get hurt.
Like I said, Donnie definitely has improved voice wise. I'll probably say now, like he went from the worst probably to the best all of a sudden, in my opinion, as far as like this lineup of turtles. So yeah, I would definitely give him that.
Sir, you're in extreme danger.
Cats.
Still can't take the whole humor of, oh well, no one around is taking themselves seriously, type of thing with Ninja Turtles. When that's kind of a thing with the Ninja Turtles is like, oh, they're these type of like mutant creatures and stuff that can't fit into society because society sees them as monsters and whatnot, and it's kind of supposed to be grounded in the real world, like our very own world. And obviously, we're not going to be we can't possibly be this dumb where we're just like let everything just be so passive and just let the stuff happen for the sake of happening because we're too stuck on our phones or whatever. Just I don't know, but let's continue.
And now,
Storm
I have no clue who that was.
is coming.
And then we actually got Old Hob. Yep. If I'm not mistaken. This is actually probably the first time actually that they're ever going to include Old Hob inside the cartoon. So that's definitely something.
they're in for the shell shock of their lives.
I call it Mutant Omega.
This is it. The ultimate battle.
Again, Toka and Razo. I'll replay this
Blow
thing
this whole
again.
story wide open.
April.
You guys want in?
Obviously, Tales of the Team.
I wonder, are they going to do that same crap that they pulled from the first season where basically they like were like literally trying to be like, oh, it's called Tales of the Tmnt. So basically they just make up their own stories about stuff that happened or whatever. And we're not completely sure if it happened as it actually happened or if it was like, oh, this is just a hypothetical. Because if it is a hypothetical, that just again just makes the entire show redundant. So hopefully, at least for maybe the people that actually watch the show, whatever. Unfortunately, I probably will just watch it just because I want to see where this goes. I suppose. If it's if I'm required to like go to theaters and stuff like that, I'm not doing all that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go out of my way to support this movie. If that's like well, when it gets to the second movie, I'm not going to do that. Hopefully, but who knows? I could change my mind.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. New episodes this December, exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Really, it takes them close to the end of the year to do all this, but it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna replay this, and I'm gonna slow it down a little bit so I can like at least catch some things that I might have missed or whatever. And then I'll probably just end things from there. Excuse me. Oops, wrong one. Kind of reminds me of the 2003 logo a little bit. I will say that. Let's see, takeout delivery. The thing is, they're ninjas, but they can't notice this big stalking, shadowy creature right behind them. But everyone else can. Okay, some ninjas they are. And this is somewhat of an okay design for Rocksteady. I'll say that much. I mean, yeah. Actually, does it look like his IDW look a little bit? Maybe Tails might actually handle Toka and Razar better than what the IDW did. But that'd be wild if they do. They really got to get rid of these stupid ass braces for Michelangelo, though. That's just kind of disgusting and dumb. not like they have the dental work or the dental, stuff to like get braces. So it's like, yeah, because clearly if they're stealing at convenience stores, how'd you get the money, or how'd you randomly? I don't know. Maybe they just randomly just put it together, but whatever. There was an Acme sign on that taxi cab right there. See, the trench coats disguise is returned. I always used to like that look from the '87 cartoon, and then they brought that back in Injustice and stuff, where like the turtles is like in their intros and stuff, they show up with the little trench coats and then just take it off and reveal, oh, it's us. Hmm. So if you guys remember about Bebop and Rocksteady, they're supposed to be like kind of like, cool with the turtles because they're supposed to be a part of the Mutanimals in this version. So maybe something's happening, I assume, where they're probably being controlled or rampaging somehow for some reason, by some kind of outside force. Maybe it might have something to do with Old Hob, possibly, but yeah, guess we'll wait and see. I don't know what this is. Possibly Muckman. You never know, or one of those little yeah, type of creatures. And look, sometimes the whole, oh, well, I'm painfully oblivious to certain things, or I'm so monotone. Sometimes that joke can work, but it just doesn't work with every character or every civilian character where they're just so nonchalant and stuff while things just happen in the background. It's just like, all right, it's really not that cute. I have no clue who this is. I'm not gonna lie though. My first thought when I saw this character was I almost thought that this was probably gonna be Sally Pride. If you guys don't remember who Sally Pride is, Sally is she's actually a friend of the Ninja Turtles. She's a part of the Mutanimals actually. Um, and Sophie Campbell's run, they decided to make her like the new mayor of Mutantown and all that after she had betrayed Old Hob and stuff. And she's supposed to be like this lioness, like a mutant lioness that Old Hob had kind of created, to be like his kind of getaway driver. But that's basically about it. So maybe this might be her, and maybe they probably created a human version of the character. And maybe at the end or something like that, she touches Hob, and then maybe she becomes a mutant herself. For all we know, they did kind of like change some other characters and stories around, like Bebop and Rocksteady, where originally Bebop and Rocksteady have always been like, humans turned mutants, but now all of a sudden in this version they're animals turned into mutants. So that's my speculation. Again, some of those little ninja outfits are kind of okay. I'm not gonna hate. It's not too bad, I'll say that much. And then, like I said, Old Hob right here, possibly Sally. She has sort of the hairstyle like Sally. That's also why, and maybe I don't know, but yeah, or who knows? Maybe randomly this might be Noel. But yeah, but do I have any huge things about, like, a huge opinion about Old Hob? Not in particular. I mean, Old Hob is not really a character I myself get super hyped about. Um, when I first was reading IDW comics and stuff, and I was reading about Old Hob, I was kind of surprised that he had lasted as long as I thought he would, because I was like, man, like as soon as after the first couple of issues and after Stockman shot him, I was like, yep, I kind of expected the scared to get killed off or something, but nope. Old Hob, he's still around to this day and stuff, causing some type of trouble, and then he ended up becoming like a low level like Magneto of the Ninja Turtles and stuff, where he's always like, you know, in defense of mutants and stuff like that, and trying to, he uh, rejects and hates humanity and blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting turn. But anyways, but yeah, but like I said, Old Hop's not a character I'm super hyped about like that. I think it's pretty interesting what they were doing with him inside the Saturday morning cartoon, where they made him a part of the Pantheon, where he's like the Pantheon is like these intergalactic space gangsters and stuff. I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know what they're going to do with him in the show, but I mean, who knows? Maybe it's probably better than them. Like about like it, maybe it might be better than him. Like like than the goldfish idea, like yeah, that they had from the first season, where oh yeah, these sea creatures, which isn't a half bad idea. I'm like okay, fine, a mutant seahorse and a mutant eel isn't a half bad idea. I mean, I would change their outfits because I don't know why you would give them um leather jackets and stuff, and they're aquatic creatures. But okay, but the goldfish character, Goldfin or whatever, yeah, I would take Old Hob over that character. I'm sorry, I don't care how well the fight choreography looked. It was like I'm just like no, I just can't take this seriously. If you're getting beat up by a mutant fish, like come on, man. Like I said, there's Toka, Razar. I guess they're fighting both Bebop. Sorry, I had to pause it at a certain moment. There's Bebop and Rocksteady at the same time. Likely they're being possessed or something for all I know. Or maybe they were probably like tricked into joining some kind of gang, or who knows. They don't really have much of a, to be honest, they don't really have much of a personality or characterization, in my opinion, inside this version. So they're probably going to do something with them in this season because I think they were pretty much absent in the previous season because they didn't get Seth Rogen and John Cena back. So yeah, and for all I know, they could be voiced by two completely different people in this version. So yeah, or in this season. So yeah, that's not half bad. That's kind of cool. Then Leo's arm, I think, is in a sling, and that's the trailer right there. So those are pretty much my thoughts as far as Tales of Tmnt and stuff, and the stuff that they just put out. Again, not too impressed. I'm not like, oh my god, I can't wait until December. Nah, not really. I mean, I got other things that I can probably watch and whatnot before I come back to make fun of this. But it's just like, you know, Ninja Turtles, they can do so much more better. But anyways, tell me down below what you guys think. Did you guys like this stuff? Are you looking forward to it? Anyways, this is the Joan Low Fox. I'm out. Peace. And until we meet again.